Hey everyone, and welcome to this month's Dave's Real Life Story. This isn't going to be a very long one, but it is funny now that I look back on it. Although at the time, it was definitely not funny, and I thought I was going to get into a lot of trouble. So, around 1997 is when I bought my first house. I was working for Walmart, I was working for the Bentonville warehouse, and I was opening up all of these super centers throughout the southeast. So I was doing well. I was making good money, so I decided to buy a house. So I did, and I wanted to have a party, and I literally planned for this party for several months because I think I bought the house in like March or April or something like that. And I wanted to have a 4th of July party, a big 4th of July party. So I was doing some training. I had to go away for a month or so. And then when I came back, it was 4th of July time. So when I was out, I think I was doing meetings in South Carolina, I believe. And I wanted fireworks, right? And fireworks are illegal in Florida unless you're like farming property. And, but you could buy firecrackers and stuff like that. But I just didn't want firecrackers. I wanted the real deal, right? So when I was in South Carolina, I can't remember the name of this place. It may have been called Thunderbolt Fireworks or something like that. But I bought so many fireworks. I mean, it was crazy. We were going to have a barbecue. There was like an ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling pay-per-view going on that weekend. There was going to be lots of drinking. I got a couple of kegs. There were going to be kids there. Great mix, alcohol, barbecue, and kids. And then there were going to be fireworks and lots of them. So I was in South Carolina. I think I spent over $1,000. I know for a fact I spent over $1,000. And I literally filled up a couple shopping carts in this place. This place was as big as, I would say, one of those corner side. Remember the old Eckerd's or CVS Pharmacy? Another great example. This place is as big as that. And I filled up a couple shopping carts and I spent well over $1,000, right? I got all kinds of tanks because I wanted the tanks and I wanted sparklers for the kids because my son wanted to have tank wars and he loved those little tanks that had the little firecrackers in them and stuff. So I got a bunch of those. I got a bunch of Roman candles. I got a bunch of those big fancy big fountains. And then I saw what I just absolutely fell in love with. See, I love the movie, the old Dirty Dozen movie from the 60s with Jim Brown and all those guys. So there was this pack of mortars called the Dirty Dozen, right? And it was like, I think that alone was like over $200. And I bought one. And I was excited. I mean, literally, it was in a huge pack. You could probably Google it and look at the internet. I remember it was a camouflage package, and it had this like steel mortar in it. You had to drive it down into the ground, and then it came with these big old shells. I mean, these things were as big as softballs, right? And there were 12 of them, hence the name The Dirty Dozen. So I was like, oh, this is going to be the finale right here. And they had these long wicks and everything. So I bought that. So I took it home. We had our party, and it was awesome. People just eating and drinking. Kids were running around, with sparklers and, firecrackers and all kinds of fountains and drinking. And did I mention drinking? I literally had like 2 kegs. And it was amazing. A couple neighbors were coming over. I had an old guy that lived across the street that was a leatherneck in World War II. His name was Tony. He came over, got some food, took some food over to his wife, brought his wife over. It was a great time. And so it was time to start doing some big boy fireworks. So we took this steel mortar, we put it out over closer to the edge of my house where the little sidewalk was in the door, and we lit these set. Well, we made sure it was on the ground. And my friend, my buddy was like, he's like, dude, these things are way too big. And I was like, that's okay. We're going to have fun. I mean, like I said, there was drinking going on, and I wasn't a big drinker. I've never been a big drinker. So it didn't take too much to get me kind of tipsy or, fired up or drunk for that matter. So the beer had been flowing for a couple of hours. The sun had just went down. And we set this mortar up, and we put this first mortar in, and I think it was called John Wayne or something. I think they had names on them. And when we put it in, I lit this wick, and I was talking to my buddy beside me. Didn't get out of the way, didn't run away. I was like, it's just gonna shoot up. This thing exploded. And all I looked up, all I saw was everybody looking up. And it was just like something you would go to the fireworks show, in your town or city that you live in. And this thing just trailed up. It was like a trail of cinders going up, and it just kept going up and up and up. And I'm going, wow, this is cool. And then it exploded. I mean, this thing exploded red, white, and blue. And the area of the blast of this thing, literally, it had to have covered at least a couple streets in my neighborhood. And when this thing exploded, all you see is, after the cool, beautiful red, white, and blue lights, all you see are these red cinder ashes dropping down back to the earth, because what goes up's got to come back down, right? And I had a vision of Armageddon and my whole neighborhood on fire. And I'm listening, and I'm hearing all these cinders hitting the rooftops all around me. And I was literally scared. I literally, almost instantly sobered up. Neighbors were coming out. They were wondering what the heck was going on. And then my neighbor next door is like, hey, fire another one up, man. He was drinking. He was a big drinker. And, so I didn't want to shoot up anymore, because I'm like, this is dangerous, right? And they're all saying, you know how it is when you drink, and you're getting called a wuss, but not in that name, but something else. But we eventually, after about a half an hour or so, we decided to fire another one up. Well, I put another one in there, and as I lit it, my friend, not going to name his name, but he jammed another one down into the mortar, because he was blitzed too. We were all blitzed. And, kids are running around, chasing each other around. Kids are running around the mortar, and I'm like, kids, get away. And this fuse is just going off. And now there's this other mortar in there, and he lights it. So now we got two of these things, and the one on the bottom is going to go off first. So... Unbelievable. Armageddon. That's what so things were starting to get out of control at this point, because they had long wicks on them, and it took probably 15 seconds, and one of the kids ran by and tripped on the mortar and uprooted it from the ground. It fell down right towards Tony's house. And by this time, as soon as it hit the ground, boom, it exploded. This thing shoots out, bounces up in the air, explodes about 10 feet off of the ground. Oh my God. Absolute chaos. My yard is literally on fire. I mean, there's all these little fire spots going on. And then all of a sudden the other one lights off, and it literally shot up in the air and blew up again. So we shot off 3 of these things, and that was it. I was done by this point. I was scared. Absolutely scared, because this time, I got neighbors coming out, people yelling, keep it down. My neighbor across the street Tony came out. A lot of the fireworks was in his yard, and I'm apologizing to him, and he literally said, and he would say this on occasion all the time. He says, I haven't seen a mess like this since Normandy. So if you don't know what Normandy is, just Google it. Hopefully you know what Normandy is and what it was. So yeah, but it was, the kid ran by, knocked it over. The first one shot out, exploded. My yard's on fire. I took a lot of pride in my yard. I had beautiful St. Augustine grass. And after that, my yard just wasn't the same anymore because I had all these burn spots and I was trying to fix it with fertilizer and all this, grass repair, and it just didn't work. And so I had to basically level it and get new grass. But yeah, it was crazy. It was fun. It was crazy. And about 15 minutes later, a sheriff pulled, because we were just outside of the city limits of where I lived in Titusville, Florida. So where I lived, the sheriff's patrolled. So here comes this sheriff's car with his lights off, just creeping on down the street towards my house. Somebody called the cops, or probably multiple people. And he stops right in front of the house, and we got all these fountains going off, these sprinklers. Kids are running around with sprinklers or fighting tanks with one another. Firecrackers are going off. And all I remember is he rolled down the window real slow, and I walked up to the sidewalk to talk to him. And I said, is everything okay, officer? He goes, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? He says, are you, and he sees like my yard is like smoking like a graveyard. And he says, are you boys firing off big old fireworks in this area? I said, no, sir, we're not. And I said, no, sir. I totally lied to him. Officer, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I lied to you. But I said, no, sir, we're not. I said, just the kids are having some fun with some sparklers and the little tanks and stuff. And he says, are you sure? I said, yes, sir. And I'm thinking, and this friggin' mortar's lying on the ground and all this stuff. He could have literally got out of his car and probably arrested me. And I'm thinking, I'm going to jail. The fire department's probably on the way, everything else. And then he says, all right, y'all have a good night. And he just rolled up his window and drove off. Talk about dodging a bullet, literally. Not only dodging mortars from a dirty dozen fireworks. Holy cow. So needless to say, we didn't shoot up any more of those dirty dozens. And in fact, they sat in my closet for years and years. And then I eventually threw them away. But yeah, I only shot off 3 of those. It was scary. I thought the entire neighborhood was going to be on fire. And, I thought I was getting arrested. I thought that cop was going to get out of the car and see all the evidence that is just literally right in front of him. I got people that are underage. They were probably underage and drinking. I had all these people that I didn't even know who the hell they were at this party drinking and stuff. When the word gets out, there's a keg, man, people come out of the woodwork. And, a party that ended up being, supposed to be about 15, 20 people ended up being like 30, 40 people. Half of these people I didn't even know, but they were my best friends, because food was there and drink was there. And they're like, oh, this is a great party. And I'm thinking to myself, who the hell are you? But whatever. But yeah, that's my real life story for this month. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I've got another good one for you next month. So let me know down in the comments section, has anything like this ever happened to you? I want to join in on the conversation. And to that police officer out there, whatever your name is, I'm so sorry that I lied to you. But yeah, thank you for not arresting me, because I knew for a fact he knew that we were shooting up big old fireworks. I don't know why I said no, but yeah. But anyways, thanks everybody for watching. If you liked the video, please do me a huge favor. Give me a thumbs up. And also, if you like the content on my channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification on the right-hand side. You'll get notified anytime that I release a video. So until next time, everyone, stay safe. Have a happy 4th of July. Keep track of all of your digits, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.